as fires burn out from yesterday, a wandering air's found a better way. For just as night seems most dark, the sunrise comes to warm our hearts.
Through the ashes of war, through the blood and the gore, a man once born in this world that is torn. A group that cannot just be stopped or forgot will rise to overcome all odds. And with every new day, through the parts that we play, as we push fear away and remember the ways of a man who was kind and whose words will remind.
But not from how far. Our journey so ruthless, I still bear the scars. And what matters ain't that the world saw its end, but what kind of life we will spend.
I'm trying to be better, but still miss the mark. And each time I save you, I'm left in the dark. No,
when you're in trouble, I'll be by your side. My love for you ain't gonna hide. Inside the fire keeps burning.
Still death is calling. The rivers run dry neath a blackened out sky, and all the dead trees are falling. Creatures we face will seek, will judgment, our mercy or grace. Decision is needed for those who survive, of whether you'll be left alive.
And all bloody work for a hope that we hold, of past golden age and its story still told. And what sacred virtues we're able to heed, to bring back to those who are in need.
The is daunting. It's going to be shaped by the choices we make, and those of the ghosts that are haunting.
And hope's worth preserving. Both near and so far, all the angels there are, must now bring a peace that's deserving.
Hello. Well, what?
Amazing grace, how sweet that sound.
Hey, Smitty.
That saved a wretch.
There's some tanker said she'll be here soon too.
I once was lost, but now blind, but now I see. 'Twas grace that touched
Hi, this bag of hot chocolate pie dollar is cold.
to
I love you,
I
Mama.
witnessed this.
and grace my fears relieved. How precious did that grace appear the hour I was first found. Through many dangers, toils, and sneers, we have already come. 'Twas grace that brought us safe thus far, and grace will lead us home, and grace will lead us home.
Welcome, son.
Amazing grace, how sweet the
Mango
sound
vodka.
that saved a wretch like me.
No, actual coffee.
I once
I've been doing bug testing for Fallout New California all day.
but now I'm found. 'Twas blind,
Have you played it?
but now
Download the game, but I've seen some stuff of it. It seems a bit buggy.
I took
It's not the frontier,
final
thankfully.
breath
One of the companions made a clone of themselves, and that clone was
finish the song
hostile to the civilian population,
and
so I had to run.
felt my tears slowly drying. Was blind, but now I see.
When I am down and oh my soul so weary, when troubles come and my heart burdened be, then I am still and wait here in the silence until you come and sit a while with me. You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas.
is no light without its splendor. Each restless heart beats in harmony. But when you come and I am filled in wonder, in you my eyes can glimpse eternity.
You raise me up so I can soar on clouds. You raise me up to run on open plains. I am strong when I am on your shoulders. You raise me up to more than I can be.
You raise me up to more than I can be.
I'm gonna try it in live streaming crazy posts.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are gathered here tonight with heavy hearts. But we are not gathered to strictly mourn. It has been a long time since I've had to put this robe on for anything. And the first day that you begin studying human communication in graduate school, the first thing the professor does is he walks in and he writes the word death in big bold letters on the board. And he turns to all of you and he says, "This is the ideal end to every relationship you will ever have. Relationships innately have an end point. That end point can be a argument, a falling apart, a drifting, but the biggest end point of them all is usually a death. And that's okay. We are not gathered here simply to cry, or wail, or be upset. We are gathered here to comfort each other, to look to each other for guidance, and to celebrate the memory of a great person. I have known Holtz for longer than I have known my wife. I've known Holtz for longer than I've been out of Alabama. We knew him as von Holtz. His family knew him as Louis Dzina. Regardless of how you knew him, he was something special to all of us. I have a couple of pieces of artwork to share. I have some transcripts from videos to share. I will not be playing the videos directly due to Twitch's copyright ID system being a little overly aggressive. But I will be happy to share the transcript of the video and to the best of my ability. This will be featured on my stream channel next week in case you missed it, or you want to leave something in the comments, or you want to put a story that you didn't get to tell. And I would like to begin tonight with a very simple call. In my hand is a shot of Jack Daniels. And it's going to be an interesting evening. I would like to propose the first toast to a wonderful human being.
To Vaughn. Maybe have a better life next go around.
Most indeed.
The memory.
Well, it's been a while since I had a good shot of Jack.
I can't drink, so I want to drink some juice.
Drink that juice.
Apple juice.
Drink the hell out of it for
Thank
Vaughn.
you very much. I have to work.
To memory and where they to memories and where we take them tomorrow.
Vaughn.
Part of tonight is to remember that no one is ever truly gone. We each have become a living legacy. A piece of a person passed to us that we are now responsible for. Whether that piece be a simple, I said hello to him once, or the person was integrated so heavily into my life that it feels weird to not have him here. Through that, every action, every word, and every thought is a reflection of their influence on us. It should be remembered that it is a happy influence, and the only requirement for you to make your ancestors, whether they be friends, family, or enemies, smile is for them to be able to stand next to you after they're gone.
The Army of Fiora has a new officer.
And say,
"Welcome, son."
I'm proud of this person. That's it. That's what it is to understand how ancestors work. The only rule I would ask of everyone here is that you be respectful and you understand that we are not going to be sharing anything from a religious text. Some of us are Christian, some of us are Muslim, some of us are Shinto. I know 2 of us are Taoist, and I know at least 1 of us is a Buddhist. And then there are a few of us who are atheist. In order to prevent a fight or an argument, excuse me, Jack's getting to me.
Yeah.
I would ask that you refrain from sharing anything from a religious text or a strictly religious point of view. Now, I'm going to start looking at the paramedic is apparently one of Holtz's brothers. Nice to have you here, as is nice to have Hot Cheeto, his nephew, here. His nephew who's in California taking care of the family while they've been hospitalized and had informed us of Holtz's passing. Alright, I don't see any stories in chat yet, so the first person to speak apparently is going to be Wingman. You're up first. Wingman, can you hear us? Okay, well, while he gets his microphone sorted.
I've not had the privilege to know Von Holtz because I'm a relatively fresh face around this community. But out of the few times I've interacted with him, I got to tell that he was a good person and someone who I would have wanted to.
Wingman, you're cutting out on us. Are you okay?
Sorry. Hold on a second.
Okay. Take your time. Just want to let you know we didn't hear you for the last 10 seconds there.
All right. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
All right. All right. But like I'm saying, I've not had the privilege to know him for a while because I'm still a new face around here, somewhat. But of the only few times I've interacted with him, he was a nice person. Like, I don't know how any other way to put it other than like, because maybe calling him friend might be too strong, but in this context I will refer to him as such. But I wish I could have had an opportunity to talk with him one-on-one and get to know him better, but the last time I interacted with him was, sorry for me stuttering, I do apologize, but the last time I interacted with him was like talking about server ranks, and I sent him a funny GIF to go along with my request for a server rank, and even though he didn't show it, I bet he got a kick out of that one, judging by the emoji he used. I honestly don't know what else to say, but
it's okay.
Because so many things are happening with me right now, but I will say that I wish I would have gotten to know von Holtz better. And may you rest in peace. And that's where and I'm finished. Sorry, it's not that much. I do apologize.
It's okay.
All right. So who's next?
Wanzabi, go ahead.
Yes. Like I said, met von Holtz back in my days with a group in the Armored Warfare. I was struggling with the game, and he recommended I watch Fiora videos on tanks, and from there we hit off as a friendship. I've leaned on his shoulder. He's leaned on mine in the past. He told me about some of the problems he was having running the family business. And he kept me from rage quitting this server when Orc Talk got a little too out of control for me. So I am going to miss him. I was hoping to be able to get more games in with him. And I've been enjoying the heck out of working with y'all and him on the Wednesday night project. That's what I refer to FOE, the Wednesday night project. He was a good guy, and he didn't deserve what happened to him at all. And for that's why I usually have got this big old glass of mango screwdriver, so I can take drinks every time somebody proposes a toast, in which case I'm going to end with a toast. Again, to von Holtz, you made it to the next level.
Let's not drink ourselves to death tonight, please. I don't want to have to put this robe back on tomorrow.
No, I only have the one glass, and that's it's done. It's done.
Let's see. Bones is next, and then I will share the transcript from King Bronze's video, and then we will start Dazlander. Go ahead with Bones.
Alright, I guess we find out if this thing's set up correctly now. Can you hear me okay?
Perfectly fine.
Oh, for once it works. I've also got a short message from our new moderator, Prince Dazzle. He wasn't able to make it this evening due to work, but he passed some words on that he'd like to share it as well. From Prince Dazzle, I didn't know him as well as others, but I did like him. From what I noticed, he was a very good person, and it hurts me that he's gone. I'm not very good at these things. Even writing this small amount brings tears to my eyes. For me personally, I met Vaughn back in, oh god, Fee, when was it? 2017, I think, when I first joined the community.
Yes, when you tried to kill me with alcohol.
Hey, now, I didn't know the rules yet. Holtz and I wound up both being the voices of reason, trying to tell Fee to stop chugging not your father's root beer. She didn't listen, and I believe her exact words were, "It feels like being kicked in the cunt. It's like AIDS in your mouth," something like that.
My language is colorful. Let's just put it that way.
There's some old Fiorisms for you guys.
Oh boy. My language is very colorful.
Yep. There's a reason you didn't re-upload that video. But afterwards, Vaughn and I just hung out and talked for a while. And at the time, I was going through a bad part of my life, and Vaughn just had a way of making you feel at home. And he was like that uncle that you didn't see often, but he always had a way of just bringing everybody back to calm and trying to, focus on the bigger picture, I guess. And I can honestly say he's one of the reasons why I'm still here today.
Bronze has left us a video, but due to potential copyright issues with Google and Twitch, I'm just going to read the transcript. Von Holtz was a good person. I have nothing bad to say about him, and I wish I could have talked to him more. He has moved from this kingdom to the next one, and I wish to see him there one day. That's the most of the transcript. There's the full video if you want to sit and watch it.
The stream tip grenade has been armed. 5 seconds until detonation.
Because he has a speech and a mental difference from the way that I think versus how he thinks, and he has a different speech pattern. I thought I turned off the sound notifications. I apologize. Up next is according to timestamps, it would be paramedic. If you can unmute your microphone, you're free to speak.
Can you hear me?
You're a little quiet, but I can turn you up. Try now.
Sure. How about now?
Perfectly fine.
Awesome. It's an honor to meet all of you.
We genuinely wish it was better under better circumstances.
I'm getting a little feedback. Sorry about that. So I just wanted to say it's really nice to meet all of you. I had really no idea that my brother had so many friends and that he was so well liked in the community of gaming. And I just wanted to say I'm going to really truly miss him. And well, this is tough.
I can say with no exaggeration or embellishment that Von Holtz has genuinely been in every single video game I've ever featured on my channels. Whether that be his XCOM squad mate that I created for him, and he told me what to change and modify on it, he even gave me a couple mods to add for aesthetic purposes, or him participating in things such as the Ruby tabletop game, or driving side by side in World of Tanks and Armored Warfare.
Awesome.
Any video game I've ever played that I could either customize characters or that he could participate in, he has actually been there, and it has been over 5 years since I started doing videos and streaming services to everyone, and I cannot remember a time he wasn't there.
Well, if it helps to know, I'm probably the one who sold him his first computer. So if you have anything to blame on that, it's me.
Then I would happily give you a medal.
I was going to say, only to thank you for.
Next would be.
Well, I don't know what else to say other than he was a really good guy. Super nice. I never see him mad or hate really anybody. And what happened to him is the worst. Just you don't wish that even on your enemies.
No.
We got into a fight twice that I can remember, like a bad fight. And I can honestly say he was the first one to extend the olive branch afterwards. I'm not
that's
only
good to know.
putting up pictures of him for the stream tonight, I'm also putting up pictures of his characters that I have. Many of them I had made because he participated in the games that we were playing, but I only have about 6 actual selfies of him. Everything else is artwork of characters or things of that nature. Yeah.
Well, again, thank you for the time. And thank you for the invite to this. I do appreciate it.
You're more than welcome to stay, or if you need to go, we understand.
No, I'm going to stay. It's nice to hear good things about your brother.
No, he was a great guy. He really was.
Dazlander, I believe it's
Indeed.
Your turn.
The whole reason why I'm back in this server is because of Holtz passing. I wish I could say this was not the case, but it is. I regret not being able to talk to him more, especially towards the end. Holtz was always there. Holtz was basically the server old man who went through, and if you were acting up, he would smack you over the ears and then tell you how to do it a better way. I remember him in Ark specifically yelling at us for doing something stupid, and then he showed us a better way, and it's like, oh, well, we're stupid. He called us that, then told us how to do it, and showed us. Holtz was a teacher when he had the ability to do so. There were some things that he wasn't as much of a... There were some things he couldn't be a teacher of. There were certain things that he was able to be a teacher of. Either way, Holtz will be sorely missed. I just regret not being able to see him or hear him anymore. So if I have any regrets, that would be it. Either way, a great man has passed. We must honor him.
Let's see who would be next. Panzer Zavad.
Check. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can
Yeah.
hear you.
Okay, awesome. Well, actually speaking, since Daz mentioned it, yeah, Ark. One of the things I will not miss if we ever start up an Ark server again is being up to our neck in RGs. Thank you very much, Holtz. I mean, God damn, that man loved his RGs.
It wasn't just the RGs, it was the...
Everything flying, basically.
Yeah, everything that flew. I logged in one day, we had 6 Quetzalcoatlus, and I'm like, where'd all these come from?
Yeah, literally. I mean, RG is the closest association with me, because that's something he taught me how to use, basically, a lot. And I'll definitely remember all the crazy ass building that he did because that was something that, you know, when I started gas building projects, I would basically be like, okay, who's the first person that gets to see these, even if they're, you know, half baked at this moment. It's like, well, let's start with Holtz and get his feedback on, you know, how this is progressing, sort of a thing. And yeah, he was definitely a teacher. I mean, I remember one of the first times I died on that ridiculously souped up server we had was, you know, just from cold, because I was like, oh, this is just cold, this is standard, this is fine. And then, you know, can someone save me, because I'm dead now. So yeah, I'm gonna miss that. And actually I was just thinking, when I joined the live stream, that in the beginning, I can't tell you for the life of me, I always used to confuse von Holtz and I think it was Lenzavi. It's like when we started playing the only war games, I could not like it always took me a moment when I needed to address either one of them that I was like, okay, this is that person, this is that person. I can't tell you why. It's just something to do with the voices, but yeah. And also, people remember von Holtz was not a good person. He was on this server. He, by definition, could not have been a good person. Because look at us.
I'm gonna slap you.
We're all gonna slap you really hard, but we also don't have a counter argument.
The line is forming for Panzer's spanking.
That harder, daddy. I mean, you know, let's put it this way. Hell's House Band just got someone to fix all the instruments that they smashed, so I think they're going to be really happy. And you know, if you believe in such a thing, we'll see him eventually. I think that'll be my piece.
All right, thank you, Panzer. Next,
I think next is Stargazer.
It is Stargazer next, and then I have a PM from Moon that is immediately after the 7:01 mark.
Yeah, I'll try to make this as brief as I can. I wrote some stuff down, so go off. Hi everyone. I'm here today with you all to celebrate the life of a man who touched us all in some way. We all laughed, cried, and helped each other out. I may not know Holtz as well as everyone else, but that's not important. What is important is that we value life. Flaws, its many challenges, and most of all, our friends and family. We will never know when that friend or a loved one will be taken into the unknown. I refuse to be sad, because to be sad is to admit he is gone. He is only gone in the flesh. His spirit remains with us, the community that he helped shape. He would not want us to fight amongst ourselves, to wallow in fear and anger. I would give anything to hear his jittery voice again. He was not just any other man. He was each and every one of us. He was a nerd who loved games and various media. He inspired many hearts with his creativity and optimism. He was a friend. A friend who fought for his life and met untimely death in what is now a desperate time for many. I only wish we could honor his memory on better terms, but this will have to do for now. Holtz was not afraid to reach out and be that light in the darkness. I want this attitude to be an example for many. Reach out to those people in need, no matter who they are. Be their Holtz. You will be missed. Rest easy. That's all.
Chaka is writing up his message to be read. Drinking Buddy has submitted a message here. From Drinking Buddy. I first met Holtz back when I played Armored Warfare together. I thought I was salty in game, but I am nothing compared to him. I still remember the day he quit. He messaged me saying I didn't need to quit the game because of him. I told him I was just as tired and needed sleep. I wasn't quitting the game because he quit. What little interaction we had was minimal, but I enjoyed every time, even when I was trolling him. He left an impression of a person with a personality I strive to be. I remember all the characters from the games he played, willing to push you forwards, being something greater, but not afraid to pop your balloon if your ego got too big. When I needed to do something secretly on the server without Fiora knowing, Holtz was more than willing to help me and keep it from Fiora until the time was right. I told you there's a sneaky conspiracy around here. I wish we would have got to play more games together. I had plans to go to California and visit him in person to give him a hug. One of the big regrets I have is not getting to meet him in person. I feel we all missed his presence at Ciderfest 2018. For those who don't know, in 2018 I shelled out money to get everyone who was in the Wednesday night game at Ciderfest. We had the money set aside and everything, but Holtz refused to leave his parents and anyone else's care for the weekend. And I could not get him to budge. No amount of begging, pleading, or cajoling was going to get him to come. So Moon made a separate adventure for his character, Scopolamina, for that weekend. That she went on instead.
Fabled radio arc.
That I now had to figure out how to include in my books because I have no idea how to do that. But we did the best with what we had. I just wish our best could have been better. Let me check the Twitch chat real quick because the messages are kind of flying through here. From Fobdiddle, I can't say I knew him that much, but I'll say this. I'll give these harsh and unforgiving times loss is unavoidable. I believe were he burdened to choose someone to go, he would have gone himself all the same. And that's all I've got from Twitch chat that we missed.
I think next up on the list then is Soph.
Amber, actually. Amber gets incoherent. Apple Fritter. MT actually sent a video, which was a long, winding 2-minute rant about how great Scopolamina was.
It's awesome.
It's pretty good. I'm not sharing videos because of potential copyright issues, and I know that Twitch, because of our request to have the exclusionary thing lifted, definitely has a person or a bot in here making sure that we don't violate copyright tonight.
MT, you alright for me to share that the link to that video?
I'm actually doing it right now.
Okay.
So there's the link to the video if you're interested. It's about 2 minutes long. Up next would actually be Spitfire, Sophie, my wife.
Oh god, get ready for the salt.
Sophie, unmute yourself.
Shut the fuck up, Hetty.
Everyone just get ready for the assault.
Mm-hmm.
Still just assaulting.
My wife recently told me that in the first few years, von Holtz didn't like me very much. And to be fair, I didn't like him very much either. We had a mostly antagonistic relationship. And
That's just you.
Yeah, that is just me. But with von Holtz, more than most, actually. Quite a lot of fighting and DMs between us. Fuck, this is all blurring together. Well, this isn't my first funeral, but I guess I never really got the opportunity to actually properly sit down with Holtz. I remember playing Armored Warfare and platoons with him, I think with Hedy and Lens. But that was during my angry years, so to speak. And I guess now I'll never actually get the opportunity to actually know him as a person besides someone on as a mod or someone that I just clash with a lot. I was there when Rana would, well, just a little more than a few weeks ago when she would ring him every night. It was sobering. I'd like to say that I'm sorry to everybody for their loss. That's going to be it from me. I didn't actually know him that well, so I don't actually have that much to say other than sorry. I hope everybody keeps him in their thoughts.
Alright, Hetty. I'm gonna prop my feet up. This is gonna be a minute.
I mean, might not be that long. I've not actually really sort of, what I'm like for preparation. I don't. So this is going to be kind of off the cuff, but yeah. I mean, I knew I knew Von for fair amount of time. About the time Armored Warfare started up for Fee, so well, yeah, I got to know a guy who was pretty damn good at bringing people back together. I mean, hell, he could get Fee to forgive people. I mean, I don't know if any of you have ever tried to deal with Fee when she's raging about someone, but that is next to impossible, and he managed to fucking do it several times. So, yeah, dude was an absolute legend as far as I'm concerned. Chill, I'm guessing apart from some games, but yeah, it was just a chill guy. He didn't particularly stand out, but he didn't need to. He was just there. The server, the community was better for him just being there. And that's what he contributed to everything, was just helping everybody feel better about themselves, better about what was going off. And yeah, I'm going to miss him. I really am going to miss him.
I particularly remember some of the fierce debates you and he had in the admin chat on a regular basis. And the fun part about those was you guys were never actually mad at each other, and you would always come to a comfortable solution that both of you could agree with, which was what made watching that in retrospect kind of an amazing thing to be able to see.
Oh, to have been a fly on that digital ball.
Put it like this. I think some of those discussions were some of the high points of that channel. The rest of that stuff, no, you don't want to be a fly on the wall for.
Again, I fully embrace being a bad person, so yes, I would like to see all of it.
I get that.
In
I get that
Twitch
high.
chat, before the next person, from Chaotic Sorcerer Zabin, I never truly got to know him. I only watched him on some games. From what I saw of him, I know he was amazing because of his actions and how amazing they always were. I know nobody is going to forget him anytime soon. May he rest in peace. Echo Beam, if you would like to, if you'd like to talk, and then Moonhoof. I just realized Echo Beam is not actually in the voice channel. I am dumb. All right, Moon. You have to unmute yourself first, Moon.
Moon, this is not road talk.
Moon, I'm not sure if you remember this, but, you know, usually you have to unmute yourself in order to do things.
This is something I think Vaughn would like. It's us occasionally still trying to smile.
Just hang on, Duff. I think it's supposed to be Moon's turn to speak at the minute.
Apologies.
If you're talking, Moon, we can't hear you. You might actually have your microphone muted on your end, but open the gate on Discord's end.
You know, it's been, what, 3.5 years, and Moon's still not got the hang of a microphone yet.
I heard him. I don't know. Maybe.
Is this better?
Yes.
There we go.
Okay,
Yeah.
maybe I was the only one that heard him.
Okay. Well, apparently my headphones are just not working for
Hi, Max.
whatever reason.
Go ahead, Moon. Turn him up.
All right. Okay. Sorry about that. I mean, what to say that hasn't already been said? I do not think in the 3-year span I have had a player, I do not think I have witnessed one human being roll so many fucking critical failures as Von Holtz.
Oh, God.
I know that feeling.
No, we actually thought he broke his character sheet on Roll20
it wasn't just Fallout Equestria. It was the Ruby RPG and Redhurst. Guarantee one critical fail a session.
Oh, I remember.
To that.
And several in a row on some days.
At least when it came to Redhurst, you could always rely on him for the bardic performance stuff.
I
The
do
dice
recall-
loved him.
Moon, didn't he manage something like a 10-roll streak of crit fails once?
Yeah, it
Yes,
was
I remember
absolutely beautiful. He wasn't even like after the third one, he stopped being mad and he just started laughing because really, what can you do?
Nothing.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yep, 10 in a row. I remember that night.
I just
Yeah, I watched it as well.
I remember that he rolled 3 crit fails one night. You did the dice reset where you roll 1,000 of the dice. Next roll, nat 100. And it's just like,
Oh,
what?
the only answer
That's
to
all
that was just screaming.
That's a legacy I can upkeep.
But I mean, I wish I got to know Vaughn as well as some of you did, because I truly only know him as the player in my game. But as the player in my game, to not retread ground, to not, just rehash what everyone said. I hope someday my beard gets as gray as that man's, because I genuinely respected him as a gamer. I would casually mention some obscure system. You're like, oh yeah, the thing with the thing and the stuff. And I'm like, okay, apparently you are just another one of the liches who just knows about these obscure ass fucking tabletop games.
I remember he can explain Thaco better than me on stream.
Well, yeah, that's because he was already an old man when Gygax was releasing the first Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh, he wasn't.
Are we sure? Are we sure Holtz doesn't just predate the internet the way he does?
He does.
Holy shit, he did.
No. Guys.
Yes.
Von Holtz and I were teenagers when the first edition of D&D came out.
I mean, there were times where I literally would look at him and go, "Okay, Dad," and he'd go, "Good, go to your room without dinner."
Fucking mood though.
Okay, Boomer.
I don't. He was kind of like that father figure, that uncle figure, that older brother, that mentor. He filled the role in your life that you needed him to. You didn't say it. You didn't ask him. It was nothing unspoken. He just instinctively knew. And yeah, he was missing from that 2008 Ciderfest game, and I will get the assault on Raider radio notes because it was fun. He had a blast. I wish it was one of those things that I had done in some kind of a call, but at the same point in time, I didn't want him to have any pressure. I just wanted him to go, and so I will get those notes to just the community as a whole, since I mean, it was one of his proudest moments, I'd like to think. But
nice.
I don't know. I just want Vaughn back.
I think you summed it up. Whatever was needed, usually he was the right guy for the situation.
He was the yes man.
He wasn't the yes man though. He would always he was more like the guy who would be like, "Are you sure this is a good idea?"
He wasn't the yes man. He was the 10th man.
He'd be like, "Are you sure this is a good idea?" And we'd be like, "Maybe." And he'd be the first one to look dead at the screen and do something like, "This is Scopolamito. Welcome to Jackass."
And yet, in the admin chat, he'd be the first person to be like, "Hey, Fee, what the fuck are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
You, person, stop doing that. You, Hetty, what are you doing? Pony Chick, the shit. Bones, the fuck."
I mean, he wouldn't cuss as much as you do, but yes, that's the general gist.
I can't be as succinct as Holtz. Sue me. I've had too much.
No one can be as succinct as Holtz.
I wouldn't put it past Prince Dazzle. He'd take that as a challenge.
But even then,
he's a professional fucking voice actor.
Right. But here's the thing: he would have to actively work at trying to emulate being as succinct as this man is naturally.
That's fair.
See,
and you need the salt that comes from the.
You say that, but you've never heard Dazzle decide to be Papyrus for half an hour.
Oh Lord! I would rather take a hot iron and drive it through my eardrums than listen to Papyrus for half an hour.
That's fair.
That bad, huh? And here Prince Basil was saying people liked his voice.
One of my first runs of Undertale was a pacifist run, but I fucking killed Papyrus.
Wow.
My son! No!
Wow. Why would you kill Skeleton, bro?
He was terrible. I hated his jokes. Fuck him.
Hey, Moon.
Hey, at least it's not like Sans.
Hey, Moon. You gotta admit, Holtz's jokes were kind of punny, but nothing beats Dumpster Waifu.
Oh, God.
Okay,
love
wait. Okay. Fee, I'm not letting you get away with that. Dumpster waifu. Explain.
Literally, his character would hover, using telekinesis, would drag a dumpster around and store all sorts of stuff in it, and we made it bulletproof so he could sleep in it.
Okay, so we as a party, we've adopted on and off a bunch of different creatures and occasionally
You
NPCs.
fuckers will pack bond with a Roomba. No Roombas.
Wait.
He managed to turn a random ass fucking dumpster that we found in some random ass fucking ruined city. He managed to somehow turn that inanimate object into a character.
Okay, I think that's convinced
And
me.
not just a
Okay.
favorite.
That convinced me. I'm gonna try to read this series and see more of this show.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
I'm putting this on the binge list.
To further illustrate,
it's worth your time.
To further illustrate this, his current avatar on.
Oh yeah, it is actually dumpster waifu, isn't it?
On the Discord,
it
yes.
I'm assuming Fee. I imagine you've probably gotten this question, but I'm assuming that you have something in mind for Vaughn's character for Scopolamina.
We have talked about what we're gonna do. We're not gonna reveal it here tonight.
I understand completely.
Here on the Discord server, if you locate his name in the offline list, you will find that he has a special, unique role that is only his, called the Honored Eternal Scout. And there
you can't do that to me.
There is no role in existence but my own and my wife's that has a higher priority on the list than his.
That's beautiful.
I have also come to the decision that there are some upcoming games such as Evil Genius 2, Xenonauts 2, XCOM 3. I have some NDA information about. Just like Shord and Jesse Fishing Hawk, Von Holtz will be automatically included in all future squads. If I have the opportunity to rename characters, he's going to be the top 3 list, just like the other 2 people that we constantly put on the Patreon list in loving memory of. For those who don't know, Jesse Fishing Hawk was a patron of mine in 2017. She died in a car crash in Maryland. And Shord was a very dear friend of ours in 2017 to 2018. He committed suicide from ongoing depression and anxiety issues that finally he just couldn't take it anymore. So Holtz is now going to be permanently added to that list of honored dead for all future projects. And the 3rd book, Props and I have already gone in and edited another page in that says the honored dead in loving memory of, and we have put Holtz's real name in that book. So when the 3rd book is released at the end of this month, I will, or goes to the printing press at the end of the month and I start mailing them out, you will find that there's just an entire page dedicated to him.
That's
doing it.
Awesome.
There's been a couple of suggestions. I don't know what I can afford to do, honestly, at the moment, but we will keep them in mind for when I can. The first one is a Scopolamina plushie that Moon and I would get to take to conventions, so he gets to come to all the conventions from now on. When we can start going to in-person conventions again. And the other thing is a... she's falling on the floor. I suggested that we do a terrarium box made out of bullet-resistant plexi. And we see about interring it with where his gravesite is, with all of the items that people have sent in, from fan art to little statuettes I have that are either here or coming, to anything else I can think of, and then put a plaque at the bottom of the terrarium. That would be the ideal thing I would like to do personally. Just kind of going over ways we are commemorating the person in addition to how we remember him. Again, if you need to take a step away, if you need someone to talk to, my PMs are open. I'm sure that there's a channel here specifically that says need a friend. All you have to do is just type in it, hey, I need someone, and I guarantee you someone in the server will come running. Because we certainly have a lot of people, and I myself have been known to dive into need a friend and do what I can. Up next to...
Yeah, I think remember your mod staff has had to dive into need a friend at least once or twice.
Yeah, you guys dive in there sometimes too. We need more mods. We needed more mods before we got this news. Now we need even more of them. The next person after Moon is going to go to...
I think next was Carbondo.
Yeah, I was gonna say
I'm
done.
I'd offered a mod, but I think you'd strangle me.
You have too much to do.
I offer to mod.
We'll talk about it later.
I don't know. I ran a prison, so you might not like me as a mod.
Up next would be Sketchy.
Or actually, Sketchy has the thing, yeah.
And then Furry One, and then Darth.
I'm gonna wait on
and...
saying anything.
Okay. Sketchy, go ahead. I say Sketchy, go ahead, and he's not actually in the call.
Sketchy types his thing out. If you look at 34 past the hour.
I see it. I only remember talking with him once when I was learning to play Ark, as I had barely met him and talked with him. He had along with him Adagio taught me the basics of the game and was very nice. While I sadly was unable to afford to keep Ark running due to how much space it took up on my hard drive. However, I regret not being able to interact with him more and to get to know him as a person. Thank you, Sketchy. Tom, do you still want to hold off? Okay. Darth Revan, do you want to take the reins?
Sure. I have been in this server for a few years. I can't really remember when I joined, but I remember catching Fee's streams. I found her thing interesting, like this whole universe she's made out of Fallout Equestria. And one of the things I distinctly remember was when it was during the airship assault. And I don't remember, I'm not sure if all y'all remember this, but it was that one thing, where Scopolamina, they're attacking the airship and she is high on all of the drugs. Just like she's like seeing, like smell is one of the things I remember. Just, it was fucking hilarious. And I didn't get it at the time, but, as I've, just hearing this story of like the dumpster waifu, and seeing his just a lot of comments, like in like community isms and such. Just I think I talked to him occasionally. He seemed like the guy that was, he seemed like the guy that you could always tell your troubles to, and like the guy that you could confide in, and he seemed like a nice, guy, and I do remember understanding. I believe he was a 40K lore enthusiast. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think.
Yes, he would actually go through and help me edit some of the scripts when I was doing stuff with Remlays.
Yeah, I know he was one of the big reasons that, like, I think he was one of the people that answered a lot of my questions and a lot of other people's questions, as I understand it, because you don't call
Warning!
yourself Commissar
Warning!
in the
Stream tip
server and not
overload.
be like
All
a
hands,
40K
prepare
fan.
for exploded broken Fiora
yeah.
in 5, 4,
Just
3,
it's
2,
been,
1. Detonation
It's been a
imminent.
tough year for us all.
I may not be good with words, but I wish to
Even
help to
today,
commemorate the memory
on
of
this,
von Holtz.
what I must say, a sad
Also, I
day,
wish to
I
propose a
think
toast to Abbess and
Vaughn
companions.
would like the fact that even if we're all sad here, we are all
You okay? Keep
I'm
going.
sorry. Yeah, I honest to God wish I could get to know him better.
I am also discovering that pressing the master button on Streamlabs does not work. You have to go in and individually disable the sounds.
Oh, so how much of it was me?
Most of it was you.
Okay, I was still going through. Okay, but yeah, it's just if I had one of my biggest regrets on this server is that I didn't get to know him better. And I think I would have liked him. And I will miss I will miss him in a way that being and as a human being. I'm trying to just keep my thing on the button. Push the talk. It's a pain in the butt on my fingers. But yeah.
It's okay.
Just, it's been,
Who we got next?
I think that's all the things I have to say, but, it's been, a long road for us. And I think we'll all get through this, even in times of death and trouble. And I think, what Vaughn would want us to do is to keep laughing.
From Gilded Dash, I didn't get to know Holtz as well as I would have liked, but all my interactions with him, I always walked away feeling better than I had when we went into them. He was a great person. He will be missed.
We still have Carbonado, X, and Furry One.
Yes.
On the list.
Carbonado, go ahead.
You're currently muted, Carbonaro.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, we can.
Well, I'll keep this brief because I'm going to be honest. I never even heard of Vaughn until because I never heard of him until just recently. But as I said before, and I'll say it again, as I said, his loss is still a great tragedy, and to everyone who knew him personally, I'm really sorry that this happened. And well, I wish I could say more, but like I said, I never knew him, unfortunately, so there's not much I can say except rest in peace. You will be missed. And for everyone who knew him, I truly do hope for the best. Godspeed.
Thank you. We do genuinely hope he's happy wherever he has ended up. Right now, that leaves Maxwell and Furry One and Orsk. So,
Can I go last?
go ahead, son.
No, I want to go last.
There are a lot of people who want to claim that one. Orsk, go ahead.
much like Moan, I only really got to know Vonderno when came time to playing the character Astral in the Redhurst games for now, but from time to time for now I would speak with him in the server, and he was generally a good guy for now, but there were times when it came to the Redhurst game for now that there was friction between myself and him, and came close at times for now. I almost took him out of the game, but eventually we'd sit down, speak it over. Occasionally a little bit of a talk with myself to Moonder now, because I just felt like beating my head against a wall now. I needed someone to bounce ideas off of, but all in all, Vaughn was always a good individual. At times, maybe a little stubborn on one subject or another, but that's just him. That was his personality. He had his likes and dislikes just like every one of us do. But yeah. As I said over on the Redhurst server, and I'll read it off here now. Some of you may already know this, but make sure everyone does. During the weekend, we lost a dear friend of ours here to complications that arose from them having caught COVID. Our illustrious bard, Astral Hill dancer, Von Holtz, sung and danced his last performance on this mortal coil. Though I'm sure on the other side he is giving them one hell of a time. And honestly, I can see if there's another side, Vaughn would be the one to be there and help others out, just as he did over here. Probably the real life equivalent to an actual proper bird. He knew how to speak to people, how to calm them down, how to help them out whenever he could.
He's just he was just the diplomatic bard, not the bard that gets all the princesses' bedrooms.
Yep. Just as he played Astral in the game, he was the diplomatic bard. He was the one that helped the other members of the group with their troubles, helped them deal with things and the like and just as he did on the server, and for everyone that knew him, he helped them out. No matter what, he was always there. He was probably the most common mod to be green and available now for someone to talk to, other than I think Milk is like 50-50 when it came compared to Vaughn.
Yes, Hetty tends to be the rules enforcer, Bones tends to be the emergency button, and Pony Chick and Vaughn tended to be the ever vigilant sentinels. I think Pony Chick has just got her workload cut out for her now. But
True,
I'm sure I will get some people to help you with that soon, Pony Chick.
Well, Pony Chick still does as marvelous a job as always. Oh, I see a Chris typing.
I have to share something from Chaco first. I have been thinking this over for a while. I can't be there, so I hope I can express all I need with just my words. Few good men exist, and now one fewer in the world. I hope Von Holtz does well in whatever comes after this world. They are made for better for having them, as we are made lesser with him passing. I know the man for some 4 years, and I am better for it. He was a man I don't think I was ever saw angry, very salty, but never angry. He was simply not that kind of person. Vaughn was one of the few men that knew punny humor, no matter how unbearable, truly a man of culture. A wise man once said, "No one is actually dead until the ripples they cause in the world die away," and that we should just think of as leaving early to avoid the rush. So let us never let those ripples fade until ours do, and may we meet Von Holtz again one day, whatever comes next. But I guess the problem with such quotes is those bastards who said them were alive, so what the hell do they know? I'm just glad to have known him, and I hope to know more like him again. See you, Vaughn, from Chaco.
I love how he snuck in a pun there. That was adorable.
That was just spot on for the man.
I mean, he did remembered her now. Chaco plays Monty, and Monty's mama was the bear from Ruby Games, so Unbearable was, what, like a double or triple pun there?
Something of that nature. Here we have from Bones. Let's not forget the reason Scopolamina is a telekinesis master is because Moon wanted to push telekinesis spell to the max. Let's also not forget that we calculated that Scopolamina could lift 17.5 tons.
Wait, what?
There's a
The
reason
reason-
why we refer to her as the living crane.
Oh my god.
Scopolamina started out as a thought experiment by Moon. How far can I push the TK spell? And that is how Scopolamina came about.
And it
Also-
gets worse.
also
One more rank of mighty spell, and she could pick up a battleship.
Jesus.
Wait, what?
But also, the other thing to remember is that one time that Von managed to give Scopolamina so many drugs that he got bored of trying to spend all the action points he had that turn.
Oh my god, I was actually there for that stream too. Yes, he literally had nothing left to burn his AP on. He was out of anything he could do.
He was just running around the battlefield just trying to waste the AP.
I think in the end, he just ended up mimicking me or something.
Yes.
That wasn't that long ago either.
Next we have Fraser and then Chris.
Echo Beam had a thing as well that he wanted red, or she. I apologize, Echo Beam, but Echo Beam had a thing they wanted red as well. Fee.
Let me find the thing. I don't see anything he. I may not have voiced, but I would love to submit this analogy. Life is all like a railway station. People come and go. The friends stay until they themselves have to catch to their next station. Von Holtz has had to catch his next station. Sadly, he is not here physically, but he's here in heart.
Nice.
Thank you, Echo Beam. And thank you, Orsk. Thank you very much.
You will be missed.
Fraser, if you want to go ahead.
Well, I didn't get a chance to know Holtz very well, but it was very sad to lose a great friend like him. He was an awesome guy and a great friend. And he entertained us for the past couple years. Even he entertained me ever since I joined the server 2 years ago. He was an awesome guy. But I'm gonna miss him so much.
Also, Maxwell just churning out the 2 pieces of fan art in less than 2 days. What the heck, man?
Sorry.
I love you, son. All right.
Just remember, you are allowed to sleep.
I think that's all
Chris, if you want to go ahead.
By the time I've been in the server, I've seen a lot of colorful people, both in littler and all the kind of ways. One, for the times I talked to him, showed me that, as I also seen before, of course, that a person can have many colors. He also was one of the few people that I know about that played pony games without actually being fan of ponies, and I learned later that he joined those games because he wanted to be with his friends, and that told me that he had a dedication to those he cared about that I really admire.
He played with us for a year before he sat down and watched the show, so he did get a chance to watch the show.
Okay, that's good. Outside of that, I had a few very interesting and, I would say, fun philosophical conversations, like I sometimes have with other people in the server or people outside the server, talking about everything from aliens, religion, physics, or other philosophical things. And I would say he is a man, or was a man that was kind of like a hidden treasure. He showed up when he was needed, and otherwise kept himself where he wanted to be. In the background, but having fun. Because he knew he didn't needed the attention. So, thank you, Vaughn. You are an inspiration, even after your passing. That's it.
I want to point out, before we started tonight, I went and did exercise with Beat Saber for, I want to say close to an hour and 30 minutes. And I played a song he requested and finally got through it, but I didn't just get through it, wasn't just enough. I might have went a little overboard because my back hurts, but thanks, Vaughn. Because the song you requested, I now have the 1,000 hit combo achievement. And I finally finished We Didn't Start the Fire.
Leave it to Vaughn to somehow drive you to do something after he's gone.
I did play that song 7 times to get that achievement. I was like, it's not good enough yet, it's not good enough yet. And then I missed the last note on the achievement run and was like, I still got the achievement, it doesn't matter.
Why does it say Bat Saber?
Because the sign flickers on and off.
Oh.
Yeah, go ahead, Maxwell.
Hello. Sorry if you hear voice in the background or my broken voice. I've been crying for the past 3 days. When I heard that, what happened, I was already in a deep spot, though I knew something was wrong with Mama Fee, so I checked up on her, because I can tell when people are not in the right space. I just have that vibe. So I asked, and I took the info as strong as I could, and for the past 3 days, life has really been kicking me. I really didn't want to come today. I wanted to go see my mom again, but I came. I've been crying this whole time and drawing Scopolamina because she's like a comfort character now, because Vaughn's helped me a lot. A lot of you guys did. They helped me and messaged me every time I would join the server back when I left. They would message me and say, hey, what's up? Hope you're doing okay. And it was every time. It doesn't matter how long it was. Once they saw that welcome message, they were just like, hey, nice to see you back. And I'm like, thanks. And I remember when I first talked to them fully on my old account, I was talking about maybe auditioning from Scopolamina, and they were explaining, and I just kind of fell in love with the character, because not only am I an artist, but seeing someone put that much thought and like interest into something is like really eye-catching. So I've always had a love for characters like Vaughn's had, and I always loved watching the Wednesday game because I would like to laugh and giggle at all the things that were said or done. And the first time I ever found about the game and Fee, I think, was when Scopola was... it was like with cameras. You guys were somewhere in Bandon. It was one of them a couple years ago. But I remember joining and I giggled so hard because I heard Scopola being herself. And ever since then, I fell in love with a lot of the characters. That's basically all. I'm gonna go mute.
I do believe the exact terms were, why would I do that? I can just throw dumpster at them. And then the next thing we heard was incessant giggling.
Now, was the incessant giggling from Moon or was it from Holtz?
Yes.
Fair point.
Actually, I think Hetty was the one that was doing all the giggling. I'd have to go back and find that exact stream, and it might take a while.
We need more Chifundo giggles in our life.
What the hell?
Moon's microphone just had a stroke. As far as Chifundo giggles, if you want to go get Forrest Rain in here to do Chifundo giggles, I'm not going to argue.
See, you say that like I don't already plan on having Chifundo giggles be a regular and consistent part of the audiobook. You're wrong.
I'll tell you what, also, Von is the one person, apart from Miss K, who's actually managed to pull a consistent acted voice on their character.
Yeah. Even I
And
break
that just
mine.
gives me something to live up to.
Even I break mine occasionally.
That just gives me something to live up to.
Oh boy.
And I'm a voice actress.
You're just looking forward to that now, aren't you?
You have no idea.
You're also a sneaky, conniving fee looker after her.
Unless someone else wants to go immediately, I believe Tom is next. You have all the time you want to take, man. Nobody's really gone over the 3-minute mark. We have plenty of time.
Well, one thing that's stuck in my head about Lou, and I've known him, God, when did Warhammer 40K become popular?
1983.
Okay, it was probably after that then. But I think it was in the late 80s, early 90s, I met Lou through friends, and we started gaming on it several times a week, possibly even playing Champions, Fantasy Hero, which is like D&D for Hero system. But Lou always liked to read, or laugh, I'm sorry. But he was generally a good person. I could throw stones, but then again, I'll get buried in an avalanche because I am not perfect. But he was always out there, always trying to help people, always telling Fiora to go to bed.
And eat. Don't forget, he literally started a squad of people to harass me to eat food.
We've had to threaten to bring it back, too.
I mean, you've got me now to pester, so...
Well, she's only a 5-hour drive from me. But Lou is the one who got me into 40K because he had orcs and he let me try using his, and I got them engaging Space Marines, and then I proceeded to melt to bomb the Space Marines and my own troops. And since I just made a lot more points in killing the Space Marines than the orcs cost, as somebody says, how could you kill your own troops? They're orcs. It's easy. Go ahead.
But it's true. No, I'm just saying you're right.
And another simple thing with Lou, I still refer to him as Lou, not Von Holtz. But I liked what stuck in my head was all the important things in life. I can't remember exactly where. he learned from My Little Pony. Friendship is magic. And all of that stuff. I unfortunately don't have a memory anymore, and I can't remember that stuff. I played Armored Warfare with Lou. I played World of Water Tanks with him.
Yeah, we played Warships together in a squadron for like an entire stream. I don't remember how long we kept going, but I think at some point we only stopped because we all had to eat dinner.
I haven't been around the stream as much. I've watched, but I've been a big lurker because of mental health problems. Fiora knows my problem, and I'm not going to talk about it. But hey, we're a good group. We do try and take care of each other. Lou is the one who's got me to really try and join some of the game streams. In fact, he's the one who turned me on to Fiora. And I mean, yeah, sometimes he could start an argument, or as my Jenny would say, take the needle, which is a Irish slang for getting pissy about something, but we all do. And I know I'm rambling, and I'm kind of really tore up inside because less than 3 months ago, I lost another close friend to COVID. And Lou is the one who told me. So I just lost one of my big information passers.
We have to remember we're going to lose people here and there. But the biggest part of that is to not become bitter. To not become angry. Bitter. And not shut out the world.
I'm still pissed off at Lou, though, because his hair is still brown and mine was gray in my 30s.
Well, damn, that sounds like a personal problem.
Well, we're here for your gray hair, Tom, if you want to come back around. I think the most
Santa Tom?
Yeah, Santa Tom over there. I think the most passed around memory we have of you is surrender.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
That was later, it's still hilarious.
And that was one of the first streams that I was kind of sort of drunkenly there for.
That was the very first only war game.
And now that I think everyone has taken their turn to speak, people can take more turns if they wish. Just remember to.
Yeah, I think Claudia had something to say.
She got her microphone worked out.
Hello.
Hello. We can hear you.
Hi, Claudia.
Just remember to hold the button down.
No, it's better.
No, we can hear you fine. Just remember you have to hold the button down.
Yeah. I've met one through Blanzabi because we played together Armored Warfare, and it was a real great honor for me. And there's a Jewish term it's called mensch, and Van Holtz was a mensch in the best way. And for me, I was always too shy to go into the voice chat before the roleplay stream started. It's, for me, the short moments we had together in voice, it was a treasure. It was great, and I cherish it a lot. And I want to keep this memory as
is a treasure. And it's so sad. It's really sad. May he rest in peace and may his memory be our blessing. And it's heartbreaking. I have slept lousy the last days since I saw the news that he passed away, and it's painful. That's all what I can say.
Thank you.
Yeah, Claudia.
I do have two things to share. One of the best gaming memories I have with Holtz is playing. It's one of the first times we had switched over from video format to live stream format for XCOM. And Holtz's in-game avatar was bleeding out. And the AI was taking forever with the turn, so Holtz and I started arguing about him bleeding to death. And we went back and forth for so long that I hadn't realized that the AI had finished its turn and it was my turn again for the last 5 minutes. And I remember both of us just absolutely laughing to tears at this stupid argument about a XCOM character that was nothing but a bunch of pixels.
Welcome to the
But to us it meant something. The other thing is all of my moderators know that they are entitled at any time to a letter of recommendation or reference here from me. It's part of me not being able to afford to pay them a significant wage, and them actually telling me I'm not allowed to on several occasions when I brought it up.
Mm-hmm. No, Fee, that's downplaying. Multiple mods have told you that if you do pay us, we'll just send it back to you as tips.
But
You're not allowed to pay me, Fee.
But I have done something. These letters of recommendation are actually already written. And I will read Holtz's now, because technically you're not allowed to see your own letter of recommendation. That's part of getting someone to recommend you, is it's supposed to be a blind letter. Louis Denenza is a wonderful human being. He is an excellent support staff for everything I do, and a go-to when I need social media or human resources management conducted here. He is almost always online and always ready to go. Claudia, the only thing I could say about him negative is his dedication to his parents sometimes blinds him to opportunities that he will only get once in a lifetime. I would hope that that would not be something that you would consider a bad endearment, as he is, by all regards, one of the dedicated, if not the most dedicated, moderators and HR managers I have in my staff. Sincerely, Fiora the Tank Girl, aka Rena Miller, owner of Fiora the Tank Girl LLC. I also have a note here from Baja. I know I haven't been quite vocal, but I'm listening and I'm very shy. But being in this server, I felt safety. Thank you all for creating such a positive and caring environment with a little bit of explosions here and there. Thank you all for sharing your experiences, big and small. It's not easy. It never is easy to stay strong, but know that we are here for each other. For Vaughn, and hugs for all. Does anyone else have anything they want to share as we slowly creep towards 2 hours here?
I noticed Baha didn't say safe when mentioning explosions.
She feels safe.
That was before the explosions.
Yes, Brett. The purpose of not showing letters of recommendation when you send them is so that the person recommending can write the absolute truth of how they feel about you without having to worry about you ever seeing it. I've actually, out of the 50 some odd letters of recommendation I've had written about me for academic work, I've actually only ever seen one of them, and that was by accident because it was dropped off the table and the letter was already open, and as I picked it up, I realized it was about me and I got nosy.
I think the closest I've ever done is when I was working agency, I processed the invoice for my own time at work.
Whoopsie!
No, I was working purchase ledger. But yeah, that's how I knew the agency was charging double what they were actually paying me.
I remember Jurassic World Evolution, Von Holtz came up with the idea that every time we ended that stream, I had to let all the dinosaurs free for 10 minutes. Just a little bit of chaos in him.
A little bit?
Okay, a lot.
Sorry, a little bit? That's better.
To be fair, there's a fair bit of chaos in all of us.
I can also say without a doubt that I'm not sure he's the person who had commissioned any of it, but I'm pretty but he's the one who has brought the most amount of not safe for work pictures to my attention. Like, without a doubt. I'm like, do you just go looking for these, or... And now I'll never know if people send them to him or if he just went looking for them every chance he got.
So, Fee, you may remember this. One of the first things that Vaughn and I actually worked together on was tracking down somebody that had stolen fan art of you and Sophie. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Who fucking what?
Oh, right.
That got her attention.
We spent 2 hours going over just pictures and pictures and pictures of your original background. That was you and Sophie holding hands and waving.
Mm-hmm.
And going back and forth, going, I'm not entirely sure. I don't know. Should we let her know? We probably should let her know. I don't know. Do you think we should let her know? We should probably let her know. No, I don't think we should let her know. And finally brought you into it. And I still remember just being...
Someone had taken that piece of artwork and turned it into a Flash image generator, and we were like, "Are you kidding me?"
For Ruby characters, no less. For Ruby characters, I still have those pictures of those characters actually, and just the deadpan. Now, Fee, don't be upset. Listen, here's what happened. You think we may have found somebody?
Bones, you're roboting.
This is very sus.
While Bones' internet currently becomes Bender from Futurama, Kung has left the words, I never had the honor of knowing Von Holtz personally, but from what I gather, the world will be a little less bright with him gone. I hope there is a paradise for him, and I hope he is there, smiling down upon us. Farewell, and be safe. And Dusky Shine has poured a shot for Von Holtz. I've actually been sipping this thing Cinder brought me. I think she called it a Grateful Dead. I regret everything.
It is 5 clear liquors and a sweet and sour mixer.
Yeah, I can tell. And they're not 5 liquors that go good together.
I was
going to say that. It's one of my favorites. It's one of my favorites. I think it's missing something because the usual version that I go for is a lot smoother than this.
I remember before we got an editor too, Holtz was the closest thing I had to an editor. And he was still dedicated, period. I don't have to go far back to find a comment from him that says, hey, you forget you missed something. And I'm like, oh, let me fix that. Same thing, and MT's kind of does that more than he does now, but yeah, I don't have to go that far back to see that he was still telling me, hey, you missed XYZ, and I'd be like, oh, whoopsie. It's really weird not having him here.
So can we address the fact? How many people can raise their hands and say that they had heard Vaughn say, "Now, Fee. To be fair."
This is gonna be good. Go ahead.
I mean, that was his catchphrase. Like, you heard every time the comms would go silent the moment you heard Vaughn say, "Now, silence. Now, silence." It could be the middle of. It could be Times. It could be Times Square, New Year's Eve, and now.
The best thing is it usually was either a glorious line that would follow immediately, or something that would send the entire chat into uproarious laughter.
Usually it would send Hetty into just the absolute most inglorious double over belly laugh.
I'm sure he's dropped me out my chair a few times. I'm pretty positive he has.
Now, Hetty, let's be fair. It's just a lust off of Jafundo's ass. And then we just gonna hear from you for the next 10 minutes.
Also, let's be fair, he has made the entire room and the group burst out of laughter during the FOE streams.
From Angel Grizz, I found out about Von Holtz's death a couple days ago. It was for the little interactions I had with him. He was a funny, awesome person. The world is a less happy place without him. There are 3 different conventions I tried to drag him to, and he still refused to go. Like, I was determined, and he was just not having it. All I wanted to do was hug his neck once and say I'd done it.
So I'm going to share a sad story about Holtz, actually. 2020, I'd actually made plans back in 2019. I had actually made plans with him to come visit him in California during convention time.
Okay.
And that was roboted, wasn't it? Okay.
Yeah, you dropped.
Well, you fix your internet. Mega Skull says, I am here to say something. I never knew him either, but from the welcome I got here, I'm honored to know the folks who did. But I feel that I love this man and love to know him. I for one am enjoying to know new people. I haven't said anything because I felt no right to. I didn't even almost come, but I felt I had no right to. But I came and I have enjoyed listening and learning. Thank you again for the welcome, and may he rest in peace. And Janet Norton says, there are things he said on streams that left me with a smile. Been here a while since I've had a chance to play with him in a game, but he's always a pleasure to team up with. I honestly wish I had something bad to say about him, and I don't. Is that weird?
I can give you one, Fee. I can give you one bad thing to say about Holtz, if you really want.
Sure.
Once he was set in his ways, you could not change his ways.
He was stubborn.
Yeah, once he'd made up his mind, the word mule was a description of something that you might have a better chance of altering its decision.
But I will say this to counter that. He was still always concerned with being friends with people, no matter what disagreement had come up.
Yeah. And sometimes that stubbornness was very handy for him when dealing with Fee. Because guess who else? Guess who else digs in?
He and one other person could talk Fee down. Only one other could talk Fee down, and it was by sheer force of no you.
Oh, I've gotten very, very familiar with that feeling.
I hate
Uh-oh.
all of you right now.
Oh, you knew this was coming up. You knew, right?
Yeah, I did.
This is the part where Vaughn would bust out some kind of pun or witty comment that would kill all of us.
You know, he was also the first person to immediately enforce the no politics rule. Like, hands down, if it came up, first person, hey, knock it off. Even with me, he'd be like, hey, knock it off. And I'd be like, okay, you know what, you're right.
He was also, I think, usually he or Lee Don would be the first to call you out for anything in orc. Anything.
Also, I feel that Vaughn, here, all of us would go and chide us all for doing all of this because
You know,
he was kind of like
it
that.
makes me think that it's a shame that Mina never got a ruler to smack Sunrise across the fetlocks with.
Oh,
I mean, we can.
Adagio's internet has decided to take a poop, but he has left a message here. Vaughn was the graybeard at the table, always willing to throw the back in my day, but he was a good sport about the ribbing he got for that. We fought and had disagreements, but at the end of the day, he was a good friend. We're going to miss him and the shenanigans Mina got up to because of him. Raise your glass and drain it dry, for while he's gone, his legacy remains. I do remember... I can't remember what it was about, but we got into a really bad fight. And the next day, his copy of my second book arrived at his house. And the only thing he could say was, if this had arrived at any other day, I would be overjoyed, but right now I just feel sick. And
didn't you two get into it over Fallout 76?
I don't remember.
Probably was at that point in time.
Knowing him, that might have been it.
Yeah, because he was getting pretty sick of the trashing that 76 was getting at the time.
But
yeah, that he.
But I ended up not streaming that day. Instead, he and I logged hours in XCOM 2 multiplayer, just the two of us, slowly working it out. It took an hour for us both to install the game and get it to work, but we just shot each other until we'd worked out all our problems. I mean, we literally just shot each other until we'd worked out our problems. And you know, got bitched and got salty at each other while we did it.
And people say video games cause violence.
Epic point. Hey, epic points if you were playing the 1812 overture while doing it.
Yeah.
Tree Stumps just put one in the stream chat.
And then I think Sneaky Punch also had one heading.
That's Nyota. Or Adagio.
And I already relayed his. Unless he
has
another one. I met Vaughn when I first entered Feast Discord, and at the time I was and still technologically inept and before anyone. And before Hetty took up the reins, hey, Tree Stump, it is at it again. He would PM me and tell me, this ain't how we do things here, explain the rules, and so on. Yeah. He didn't like giving people strikes. I'll give him that. And then I have one from Doodle. I miss Vaughn. I met him back when I first started hanging out with V in 2016. He and I played Ark. He hung out and supported me when I tried to stream. We played MechWarrior Online, debated Clan Wolf. He would keep me on my toes, and his wit was keep me on my toes, and it was always a joy when he was around, and I missed talking to him when my schedule filled. I knew he lived in California south of me, and I somehow never made it down to meet him. He's one of the reasons we restarted the Ark server 4 times, no less. He could be stubborn. He was the main reason why I'm still on this server. Fee and I have had our disagreements, and some of them have been pretty bad. Our friendship would not have survived without Lou talking sense into both of us. We've talked about the old times sometimes as we both remembered when certain RPGs were first released. I wish I had talked to him more. I have a message on Discord from him I never responded to, and now I never will. In honor of him and the impact he had on me and so many others, I'm naming one of my rare grapevines after him. I hope you name the wine after him too.
Well, I mean, if she does a FOE wine, then it could be Mina's Reserve or something.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah,
enough
if it's
drugs.
Mina's Reserve, we're gonna have to spike it with heroin. And I don't think we can do that.
Twitch has just informed me that I apparently have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I apparently have 6 emojis that I'm not using right now. I think I need to get some scopolamina ones in here.
Tell
That's Vaughn's
Twitch to
character
go
from
fuck
FOE,
itself.
for those who don't know.
Best drug horse.
Best drug horse and also best bardom as well.
I agree. Best bard.
I will admit, playing
Sorry,
with
carry on.
getting the chance to I didn't actually sign up for the Wednesday game to play with Fiora. I actually signed up to play with Moon, Hetty, and Vaughn because I love the characters of Chifundo and Scopolamina to the point where I actually made being a Philly Scout at some point a really important part of my character's backstory. And part of me wants to pull that out because it feels like it'd be too soon or that I'm trying to fill a hole, but he'd call me a dumbass for that.
He would. He would call you a dumbass, slap you upside the head, and say, "You're on deck right now. You didn't sit here all this time for my sorry butt. Now get in there."
So,
and then he'd hug you. He'd hug you so tight. He'd hug you so tight your eyes would bulge.
He'd hug me so tight my spine would shatter like a Rice Krispie treat.
Yeah, there's that too.
So.
But no, we'd know why you're doing it. So
that's all I'll say. I'll stop. I didn't join the queue or anything.
Janet's now posted a poem.
Yes, a poem that has been read out loud at gatherings of my old unit to recall absent friends and seems appropriate here as well. Halfway down the trail to hell in a shady meadow green, all are the souls of dead troopers camped near a good old canteen. And this eternal resting place is known as Fiddler's Green. Marching past straight through hell, the infantry are seen, accompanied by engineers, artillery, and marines. For none but the shades of cavalrymen dismount at Fiddler's Green. Though some go curving down the trail to seek a warmer scene, no trooper ever gets to hell ere he's emptied his canteen. And so he rides back again with friends at Fiddler's Green. Cheers. I'll drink to that.
Cheers.
I'll drink to that.
Cheers.
Prost.
I've opened the door as far as I can to a couple people who I constantly got in fights with, and I hope they step through that door, because I feel like if I didn't open the door one last time, Holtz would be ashamed of me.
Well, that's because he would.
And I won't call those people out by name because that's not fair. You're not here to defend yourself. But I will say you know who you are. And there's 3 of you. And I hope I hear back from all 3 of you before the end of the week, even if it is just a formal we agree to disagree, but we cannot talk to each other anymore. And I will go, I understand. I'm happy to see certain people here like Tom and Orsk and Bones and James and Hetty. But I'm also happy to see some older people here like Janet and my wife and...
So we had...
Why am I included on the old person list? Fuck you!
I gotta talk to you every single day!
That's right.
And also not forgetting the likes of Daslander and Ying Yang.
And for as much shit as we give him, Brett's still stuck around.
Yeah.
Hey, we do have one from Nick Fixed.
Oi! I see it. I have to confess, I don't know Holtz. I never heard of him, but to hear all of you talk about him, I deeply regret never knowing him. He sounds like an awesome guy who could always get you to laugh, play games with, and just be all random. And for people who did know Holtz, I hope you all never forget him and keep smiling for him. I'm sorry I was quiet for so long. It's okay to be quiet. Many people are here just to lurk and listen, and that's okay. And also my OBS can't decide which way these pictures are supposed to go.
That's because OBS is stupid, Fee. You know that. I know that after my stupid amount of time.
I wish I had more than 6 pictures of him, but all I have is the 6 pictures he ever posted in selfies. I went through all of the pictures on my phone and my old phone to see if he was there.
You know, I had the same problem when I was showing Cyrene what he looked like. Which...
I know the feeling behind that.
I get he wasn't, super into taking pictures, but he's at least photogenic.
Which, does anybody have the picture of him from when he went to the MLP movie premiere? Because that's not on the server.
I don't. I remember seeing it, but I don't have it.
No, that was back during the previous server. That was back
Also,
during...
Cinder's afraid to take pictures, and she's photogenic, so I don't know what's up with that.
Wait, no, I'm not!
Well, Cinder is self-conscious, so Cinder, your opinion is overruled. Take more selfies.
Was that a
no?
Was that a
the only one that gets to cat growl at me is Cyrene. So
I think that was a cat growl.
STFU, post more selfies. Boom.
I'll make the Velociraptor noises at you as much as I want.
Thank you, Courtney, for the hugs to everyone, and from the hugs from your boyfriend. Luigi, yes, you interacted with Holtz on Ark. I remember you and him having a vigorous debate about the proper use of dodos. Before I reveal the proper use of dodos was to rig C4 to them and tell them to run in that direction.
No, I thought the proper use for dodos was to rig C4 with them, pick them up with an RG and drop them on something.
That works too.
Ammunition!
And also eggs.
Does anyone else have anything they want to share? I will be here all night if you want. I don't mind. I'm sure Cinder will come in here and tell me to eat something eventually.
Cinder, can you please tell her that now?
You haven't eaten anything?
I had a sandwich and some yogurt and goldfish earlier.
When was this food eaten?
Goldfish?
Goldfish are not food.
Eat something.
They're a good substitute for chips. They're less salty.
No, they are not. Go eat some saltines and cheese, you stupid bitch.
Not
go
even
eat
real
salt. Go eat saltines
reason
and
why
cheese.
I'm sipping my drink.
No, saltines and cheese. Go.
I also agree with Aria. Fish are friends, not food.
Saltines
Claudia.
and cheese in honor of Vaughn.
Friends.
In honor of Vaughn's, saltines and cheese. Go.
Draco, I'm only eating goldfish because I know that Big Bird likes them, and I like Big Bird.
Also,
Big Bird is
Claudia asks
Draco's
if
cat.
they can. Claudia asks if they can speak again.
Sure, go ahead, Claudia.
Well, the thing is, Lanzawi and Hotlz tried to guide me into the roleplay, and they're as hard as I tried it, they're always Bohemian villages for me. So it's was very tough. He was very funny, and my favorite word that he used all the time was literally. You can say it way much better than I. So it was so great when he said it, and I get always a smile on my face. He's a blessing. He was great, and man, he must be such a great human being. And for me, this short time we speak together, and this short moments, there were hours of talking we had. It was great. We had our arguments or disagreements, I should say, but not so hard that we are separated apart from each other. It was awesome. I really miss him. He was a great human being, and it's painful. It's simply painful, and it's fucking unfair that he's gone. That's all what I want to say. Oh my god.
So, Claudia, I will say, you may or may not remember this. When I was getting ready to go to Kuwait, like in the final weeks leading up to that, it was legitimately you, Lanzabi, and Holtz that were giving me any reason to even wake up in the morning, because all we were doing was waking up, going to chow, work out, screw off, go to chow, screw off, go to chow, and sleep. That's all there was. And I can honestly say that yes, you were one reason why Holtz was still playing Armored Warfare. And he said as much to me in voice chat after you and Lanzabi had logged off for the night.
I just want to point something out, Bones. I'm putting a picture up of you right now just to irritate the shit out of you.
Sweet Christ, woman, why? I will drop kick you.
This is the very first picture that appears on the Sunrise Around the World video, first edition.
Why? Why is that the first picture? I am contractually obligated to ask you to remove that.
I can't actually without removing the whole video, one, and two, because Holtz sent it to me and said, hey, he sent a thing, and I went, oh, shiny.
Actually, no, you can, because you can private the video and then re-upload the video with that picture removed.
Hey, Bones.
But do I want to?
Hey, Bones.
Fuck you, V! Also, what's up, Lens?
For old time's sake, I'm gonna shout this out. So get ready, Fee. Leroy Jenkins!
Oh my god. Yeah.
Because she
my
sure
brother.
did love to do that charge into the middle of the bots and get murdered.
So, I remember you shouting that once or twice.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be dead of night in Fort Bliss, Texas, sitting under that stupid freaking water tower playing Pokemon Go, and I would just log into the voice chat and I'd hear you shout, Leroy Jenkins! And Von Holtz going, oh no.
And,
Bobby, no.
and watching as Claudia drove her tank in the middle of 15 bots with the proper resulting execution of it all.
And yet, you guys would persevere. You guys pulled through it.
Yeah. And we were teaching Claudia how to do the game better, and she improved quite nicely. She became a murder hobo.
Oh God, there was one game where
Hasn't
Claudia
been a
got
hobo at least once at their games.
Oh yeah.
Well, At least as far as MechWarrior Online goes, I have never been the murder hobo. I have been the assist slut, but I have never been the murder hobo.
Yeah, not my fault I brought 4 Gauss rifles.
Hey now, I brought the not the Fleet 20, the Pirate's Bane, the Locust Pirate's Bane. So screw you, and screw your lack of ECM, and your lack of AMS, you dirty slut.
I mean, last time I remembered when we were playing that game together, you would go out and spot them, and I would unleash 80 LRMs from a catapult.
You should see how I operate now. Aw, that's a cute missile catapult. I'm gonna stand about 200 meters away from your target, between you and the target. I'm just gonna watch all those missiles evaporate. Aww.
You're terrible.
Hey, now, I can't help but that I learned from you, the beef, and, oh god, Baraduel. That's who I learned from. So, screw you, fuck off, and don't hit on my Ket Fox, because my Ket Fox will murder you.
Yes, Doodle, I can attest that one of your rats in your Skaven Mortide game is named Holtz.
Did I just hear someone talk about the Kit Fox when it is in fact the Mislinks that is the Lord and Savior?
The Mislinks is the Lord and Savior.
Okay.
If the Archangel Michael is in fact the Lord Jesus, our Savior.
Okay,
So
Theology.
Okay, nerds,
Yeah, theology.
nerds. Take your dice, go to your separate corners. It's okay. If you need to chew on some of your dice, I understand. Here's the sugar ones.
Mommy, no.
By the way,
Go
I'm trying to remember who Von Holtz's character was during the Only War games.
I figured out what my actual earliest thing I ever did with Holtz was yesterday. Playing World of Warcraft.
You played World of Warcraft?
Let me finish. We were trying to complete Wrath of the Lich King. Our server was literally the only server that had not killed the Lich King. Because it was an RP server, so go figure. And we were sitting there, and Holtz was in charge of... I was not in charge. I was second line. Holtz was in charge... good night, Perry. Thank you for joining us. Holtz was in charge of the mage line. And I said, okay, what are we screwing up? And he went, we're not killing the orbs fast enough and people are getting thrown off. Okay. So while I wasn't in charge, I was the second highest DPS in the group. So when it came to the phase where those blue orbs come flying down and send people flying off the platform, I cut my DPS completely off the boss and exclusively focused on those orbs. And the only reason I remember he was there is because we took a picture after we brought the Lich King down of all 25 of us. And he's standing in front of me in such a way that you could only see half my character's face. I had to go hunting for that. And I was like, yeah, he was in charge of the mages. Holy crap, that's where I actually met him. I still miss him.
Yeah. Of all the times I ever talked to Vaughn, which admittedly was few and far between, and the times that we played during the ARC times, that's probably the first time I've ever actually seen what he looks like.
I really wonder what that wooden chain was for. Well, a few pictures I have of him, and I have no idea what that wooden chain he's making is for.
Doing horrible, horrible things to wood elves?
That's fair.
Yeah. Surely you make it out of metal then, so that it offends them.
I think it's made out of wood.
You don't want them to suffer a mental break immediately. You want it to take some time.
Does anyone else have anything they want to share as we wind down?
Did Hot Cheetos want to say anything?
I did offer to read something if he wanted to type it out, but he says he's a little too choked up and afraid that he will not be able to get the words out. And if he wants to talk now, that's fine. But if he still feels like he can't do it, I understand.
Yeah.
I don't see anyone speaking up, so I will end. Oh, no, we have MT. MT mostly came to know Holtz through scopolamina written in the book, which is why I
Can
had
I,
Go. Yes?
I want to at least try to read through it. It's more typing it out helps me out a fair bit.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Mostly, I came to know Von Holtz through scopolamine in the written book, and that's kind of why I heavily associate him with the character. But I also know him as Astral because I remember sitting down in that voice call where everyone pitched their characters for Redhurst. I remember that. And that was just really fun. And his whole thing of, well, was it his father was a halfling and his mother was a centaur?
Yes, his father was a very brave halfling.
That's what it was. I remember that. He told the story and we all just died laughing in that stream. And then, then we had the matter of the pregame talks, and I know that I harassed the heck out of you guys with the memes I end up making on the Wednesdays. And, well, I got to know him a bit better with whatever the heck you were streaming on any given day, because he was almost always there. Unless he was busy with something. And I remember one notable time, me and Cinder, we were trying to figure out something about scopolamina. And he pulled both of us into a voice chat, sat down and explained the whole thing, and it made sense, and it made sense for the character. But we never considered it. And I know kind of the big thing is I'm always on about Dead Tree, yada, 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 but it's mostly because the game, it's been sometimes I've had rough weeks, and that game is the one thing that will get me through the week where I just tell myself, just make it to Wednesday. And he's been in those streams since I've been watching. And I've just gone back and rewatched episode 16. But yeah, I'm drifting at that point. And he's kind of just been that constant. He's always been around. Might not have gotten to know him majorly personally, but he was a good guy. He was always around, kind of chilling, always cracking jokes, helping bring smiles around and everything. And, it's already been hurting. Saturday night flared back up Monday. Then I think yesterday, I don't remember. But I suppose that's my piece.
For those who don't know, we do normally run Fallout Equestria Tabletop on Wednesday nights. Moon is our GM. He stepped out. But we've been running that for 4 years now, and Holtz has been there for 3 of them.
About 3.5 now.
He's actually, if I believe right, he has been the second longest. He is the second longest, if not the longest, non-original party character to run through the campaign. He has gone for almost, if around 100 episodes, if not 101 or 102.
And we only have 124.
Yeah, so he's sitting right around that 100 point.
When I first learned that he died, it was on Saturday night. I was streaming Valheim, and I simply told the stream I have to go. As soon as I was off stream, I screamed. My entire house was uproared. Our neighbors called the police saying I had been murdered. And Cinder held me and I cried until my eyes hurt and had no more tears. Sunday, when I tried to exercise, It only took 2 notes of a song, and I dropped in tears and cried into the VR headset until Cinder came in and helped me up and put me back together enough that I could go play something a little... Instead of Beat Saber, I played something a little more violent, and I dragged myself through the day. I came to the decision Saturday night to not tell anyone because we wanted you guys to have the rest of your weekend to yourselves and enjoy it as much as you could. And then Monday morning came, and I had to say what the reality was. It will be a long time before I am all here again. It will be a long time before I sleep soundly through the night again. And there's nothing I can do about that. No matter how much I want to. I have called everyone that I could think of in my phone to make sure they were okay. I left 17 messages on Holtz's voicemail between the time he went to the hospital and the time I learned he'd passed. This place will never be the same. And I never want it to be. We will still get together on Wednesday night. We will still play Fallout Equestria. The chemistry will have to change. The group dynamic will have to adjust. And that's okay. Regardless of if I can get the terrarium made or anything that I want to honor him done, once I have my vaccine and it is safe to do so, I will take an excursion to wherever his remains are placed, and I will stand over them for a while. I'll take some videos, say a few words, share it with the rest of you, and then I will take one picture. And just as Jacob's picture adorns my screen, I will make Holtz's picture adorn the other screen as my wallpaper. A constant reminder of the one thing he gave me that I took and ran with for the last year and a half. Do better. It has become the go-to slogan of the books I write, and it has become the theme song for the very game he participated in. And now it has a new place of honor that I can never do justice to or take away from it. I would like to thank you all for attending tonight. Before I close up, Bounds, you said Cyrene wishes to share something?
Yeah. So Cyrene joined the server not so long ago, as some of you know. And she didn't really have a good chance to interact with the server. But she said for Holtz to have made such an impact on so many people, he must have been a great person. And she has also allowed me to drink during this time, and she knows that that's not always a good idea. But she told me that it was okay for this one occasion. So I'd like to end this little memorial with one last shot to Holtz. From me to him. We'll see you next time.
To those who joined us just for tonight, I invite you to stay to get to know the people and community that Holtz supported, helped build, and is probably part of the very foundation of. To those of you who I have had arguments with, I have opened the door back up, and I'll leave it open. If you choose to close it, that's your choice, but I feel like if I don't give you another chance, I am disgracing the memory of someone I held very dear. I want to personally thank everyone for coming and sharing everything we've said here tonight. To immortalize a person who deserves to be immortal. And to that, I say raise a glass. Have a smile. It's okay. We may not have him anymore, but the spirit of him is here and will always be here. Each of you are now a living legacy to von Holtz. You represent the collective memories of a great man. Let those memories influence what you do. And ask yourself, would he say, "I'm proud of you," whenever you have to make a questionable decision? To Holtz.
To Holtz.
Holtz.
To Holtz.
To Holtz.
Also, Fee, stop dying.
I haven't actually drank alcohol in a while, okay? There have been no cons for a year. It's kind of hard to drink when I'm not actually at the place that I normally drink at.
If you die, I will suck your eyeballs out with a vacuum cleaner and paint them orange.
That is weird and specific.
I have questions. Namely, what shade of orange are we talking here?
Tangerine.
I mean, why orange of all colors?
To anyone who missed any part of this stream, it will be up on YouTube next week.
Okay.
That much I promise you. If you need to talk to me, or if you want to sit down and work things out, my Discord's open. I will reply as I can. If you need someone to hug, if you need someone to cry to, if you need someone just to listen, the Need a Friend channel is open, and feel free to use it, and take it to PM, take it to private messages if you need. But do not let the death of someone great cause you to wallow in sorrow. Do not allow it to make you bitter. And do not allow it to make you close your heart off to new friends. Just always remember, this is technically the happiest ending to a friendship. Is being able to say goodbye. Now let me take up your torch for you and make sure everyone knows who you were. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
I was serious about the vacuum cleaner.